Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, and as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, Houston, Texas, precisely. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight promises to be very, very exciting and educative and informative too, per what is going on the ground in the La République du Cameroon following the formal proclamation of results of the October 12 presidential elections. Cameroon remains under implosion, destruction, death, killings by the armed forces, security forces of La République du Cameroon. That is what has been going on since the proclamation of the result of that election. And I will going to take you through Cameroon to show you some of the images emerging from Cameroon today. Please, if you are joining by way of the social media, go ahead and hit your share button and let everybody out there know that we are live. We are live all over Africa, all over the globe. In Africa, we are live on satellite television. We are live in Africa, all of Africa, by way of satellite television. And globally, by way of the social media, that is Facebook and YouTube. And if you are joining by any of these social media channels, please hit the share button. Also hit the like and the subscribe button on YouTube if you are watching by way of YouTube. When you do so, every time we are live, YouTube automatically sends out notifications to let you know that we are live. So please go ahead, hit your share button and let others join the show before we delve detailedly into it. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying put. Again, this is ABS News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu. Please go ahead and hit your share button. Let others know we are live. We are live today, Thursday, October the 30th. The month is almost over, and what a grace that God has given Cameroon to still be surviving the political mayhem, the arson that is going on in that country today. So please, I have a lot to unpack to you today. But before I get to my presentation, ladies and gentlemen, my monologues, I like to bring to you exactly what is going on in the La République du Cameroon today. Take a look at what you see. That is Bafoussam. That was Bafoussam yesterday. Transportation blocked everywhere in the place. transportation blocked everywhere in the Cameroon city of Bafoussam. As you can see from the images there, again, that was Bafoussam yesterday. Chaos everywhere in La République du Cameroon. Now, this is, you look at this one from Bafoussam. You have Mbunda market raised down. Mbunda market completely raised down. Those are the images, the remains of Mbunda market as shown yesterday, Wednesday, October the 29th. That was the remain. Those are the remains of Mbunda market, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I take you to this arrest. This is supposed, I believe, to be Douala. You see, people are arrested. People are arrested in their numbers. In their numbers, we are looking at a gendarme station in Douala. Those are detainees, the people that Paul Atanganji called drug addicts. These are the people that Paul Atanganji is calling drug addicts, picked up and dumped in jails and stripped naked, put under the rain, and forced to remain there by the barbaric gendarmes of La République du Cameroon. Again, that is Douala. I'd like us to hear what is transpiring there. Let's hear. It is in French, so let's listen.
Tu l'as vu? Il est où? On allait le chercher. C'est vous qui voulez la victoire de Issa Tchiroma. C'est vous qui dites que Issa Tchiroma a gagné. Vous allez partir en prison. Hein? Vous allez partir. Vraiment, vous êtes terrible. Hein? Alors, d'aller à l'école, vous êtes là, vous cherchez même quoi? Regardez-moi les gens ici. Vous n'avez déjà mangé même le matin? Je vais te filmer pour que tes parents voient que tu es un voyou. C'est manga, non? Je vais te filmer, je vais envoyer à tes parents que tu es un voyou. C'est toi? Soigne.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching there at the youth of Cameroon, whom Paul Atanganji calls drug addicts, picked up from the streets, protesting their vote and dumped behind bars at the gendarmerie right there in Douala, forced, stripped naked, forced to stand under the rain and answer questions as to why they continue to chant that Issa Tchiroma is their president and that he won the election. That is Douala. Now, this one is a brasserie. I don't know whether it's a brasserie, depot, or whatever it is, but as you can see, they're caught on fire. Again, that is what we rightly call the implosion of Cameroon, the implosion of La République du Cameroon. Valued businesses, property being set ablaze by angry youth who have been denied rights and employment jobs in that country for the decades, more than 4 decades actually, that Paul Biya has been in power. That is Cameroon. And right here is a place called Toboro. I think Toboro is in the north of Cameroon. This is a police station that you are watching right here, set on fire, destroyed, burned, razed to ashes in the locality called Tuboro, somewhere north of Cameroon, And here is Douala. All this yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, all these images you are seeing are as of yesterday. Douala being razed with protesters. The streets are jammed and blocked, and confrontations between the so-called security forces of Cameroon and the youths who protested their voting. Their voting was rigged. Their votes were invalidated. They were disenfranchised. They say Issa Tchiroma is their president. Again, you are looking there. This is Yaoundé. It is said that everywhere in there is no place that is safe now in Yaoundé. No community, no quarter, no area in Yaoundé is safe. You are either chased or you chase the army, the police, the gendarmes. You can see people running helter-skelter right there in that image. That was in Yaoundé. That was in Yaoundé yesterday. Now, another thing that we are hearing, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see in these images, and I would like to play the audio. Listen to this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these images are coming from the south. I think Ebolowa, as of yesterday, Ebolowa, southern La République du Cameroon. These images are emerging from there. Now, what you are seeing there are shops, shops belonging to, as they call it, Anglophones and Bamilikis, being set ablaze, set on fire in Ebolowa, southern region of La République du Cameroon. Southern Cameroonians and Bamilikis shops are suffering under the indigents of that community. I guess they want Anglophones and Bamilikis to leave the town. Again, that was yesterday in Ebolowa. Anglophones and Francophone and the Bamilikis being chased out of that community, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you look at this other image here, this is an army captain of La République du Cameroon, who allegedly voiced support for Issa Tchiroma. He voiced support for Issa Tchiroma and was picked up and detained. He is under torture, just as we have learned of Anisette Ekane and Chami, somebody who were picked up the other day, and we learned that at Set in Yaoundé, they are under severe torture. The family of this captain doesn't know where he is, but he was disappeared thanks to the security forces of La République du Cameroon. Talking about the cracks in the army in La République du Cameroon. And I believe there are so many others, especially in the three northern regions of La République du Cameroon. The army is not willing to do anything to counter the victory of Issa Tchiroma. In fact, as of yesterday, we were hearing that the civilian population has essentially chased out chased out the army of La République du Cameroon, and they are nowhere to be found in the three northern regions of Ngaoundé, Garoua, and Maroua. While others like these ones have been picked up, and wherever they are, nobody is aware. Nobody is aware. And that is what I call the implosion that is going on in the La République du Cameroon. We have now learned that the United Nations Human Rights Commission is warning Cameroon, sends out warnings to Cameroon, asking them to release everybody they have arrested and put behind bars, including men like this, and he said Ekane and Chami, somebody who was picked up the other day, including these boys that I showed you in under rain, stripped naked under rain in the Douala. They too are being asked to be released by the United Nations Human Rights Commission. They are being asked, Cameroon is being instructed, warned essentially, to release all of these guys. We are waiting to see what will become the outcome. However, only a day before yesterday, I think it was actually yesterday, Paul Atanganji was out describing these boys behind bars as acting under the influence of drugs. I'd like you to listen to what Paul Atanganji said. Listen.
And international independent observers. The election was generally fair and peaceful throughout the national territory. While voters calmly awaited the publication of the official results, candidate Issa Tchiroma declared himself winner on October 14, 2025, in violation of the provisions of the Electoral Code. Following this irresponsible declaration, his supporters organized violent protests in several localities nationwide, which were quickly brought under control thanks to the professionalism of the administrative authorities and our security forces. This irresponsible candidate, driven by the desire to push through the plot to disrupt public order, issued repeated calls on social media inciting civil unrest, urging Cameroonians to take to the streets to defend his so-called victory. In response to these appeals for rebellion, small groups of young people, often under the influence of drugs, wreaked havoc in several towns across the country, both on the eve and on the day of the official proclamation of the presidential election results by the Constitutional Council. Many public buildings, shops, and private property were set ablaze, damaged, or looted. Many buildings and vehicles were set ablaze nationwide. The divisional offices of Banja, Opankam, Ngong, Figil, and Chebwa, Benue, the public prosecutor's office in Gidel, the court building in Chang, the Manju Court Council, the Gendarmerie Brigade in Ngong, Elecam offices in Ngong, Banja, Manju, and Figil, the residences of the mayors of Garoua, Manju, and Figil, and vehicles belonging to various police and gendarmerie units, just to name a few. In Douala, public and private property were looted and vandalized in some neighborhoods of the city. Filling stations, shops, and stores, and so on. It should be noted that during these attacks, some of the criminals lost their lives. Several members of the security forces were also seriously injured during clashes with demonstrators. Investigations to shed light on these unfortunate incidents are ongoing. I would like to extend my deepest sympathy to the bereaved families and express my deep sorrow for the loss of lives. I strongly condemn this premeditated act of rebellion, which seriously undermine public order, security and stability of our country. It is clearly evident that by proclaiming himself winner of the October 12th presidential election in violation of the code, for repeated calls for rebellion, for inciting his sympathizers to defy state authority, for organizing illegal protests marked by loss of human lives and destruction of public and private property, candidate Issa Tchiroma shall be held accountable before the competent courts and authorities. Once more, I call on everyone to be responsible, conscious and patriotic. Those arrested within the ongoing operations of maintaining peace and order shall be brought before the competent courts. Media outlets promoting rebellion shall equally be held accountable for their actions before competent courts. I want to emphasize that the state will take necessary measures to maintain order, peace and tranquility nationwide. I'm calling on Cameroonians to go about their activities normally and to be architects of peace wherever they find themselves. According to reports,
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I call that setting up Issa Tchiroma for arrest. That is, you make the case, set him up, and then get him arrested. Just as in the adage, give a dog the bad name to get it arrested or killed. That is exactly what is going on here. But that takes me to my monologue for today. Please stay put. When I come back in the next 50 seconds, I will come to you with my first monologue of the day. I'm bringing two tonight, and please stay tuned as I will be right back.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricativ@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again at this moment I will be bringing you my first monologue for the night.
according to reports from national and international independent observers,
And it has to do
The election
with,
was
again,
held-
this statement from Paul Atanganji. The statement from Paul Atanganji calling young Cameroonians drug addicts because they went out to protest what they consider a fraudulent election they did not endorse. So that would be my talking point, ladies and gentlemen, for today. In his usual tone of disdain and threat, Cameroon's Territorial Administration Minister, Paul Atanganji, has again choosing to insult rather than understand the people he governs. Speaking at a hastily arranged press briefing in Yaoundé, the minister claimed that protesters who took to the streets before and after the proclamation of the October 12th presidential election results they were acting, he said, under the influence of drugs. Candidate Issa Tchiroma declared himself winner, he said, in violation of the Electoral Code. Paul Atanganji declared his voice sitting with manufactured authority. His supporters and the influence of drugs, he said, rain havoc in several towns across the country, according to Paul Atanganji. Public and private property were vandalized, and several security officers were injured, Atanganji maintained. He further accused Tchiroma of inciting civil unrest and warned that he would be held personally accountable for promoting rebellion. Atanganji also threatened media outlets in that country that provide coverage of the protests or question the credibility of the election results, saying the government will not tolerate any media that promotes rebellion or instability. Despite images circulating on social media showing heavy clashes between the police and civilians in cities such as Garoua, Ngaoundéré, Douala, Bafoussam, Yaoundé, and others, Paul Atanganji maintained that the security situation is under control nationwide, and he called on citizens to go about their business as usual. Get back to your businesses, he said. Atanganji's comments are as predictable as they are insulting. They follow a long pattern of the regime's attempt to delegitimize dissent by criminalizing those who dare to question it. His reference to protesters as drug-influenced, drug addict is not just irresponsible. It is a calculated insult to a generation that his government has impoverished, marginalized, and silenced for decades. This is not the first time Paul Atanganji has employed this line of attack. In moments of political crisis, he resorts to the language of demonization, turning citizens into enemies of the state, youth into addicts, and opposition figures into terrorists. It is a worn-out script, a desperate play for moral high ground by a regime that has lost both legitimacy and the people's trust. The irony is striking here. The same government that has presided over the mass unemployment of young Cameroonians, the decay of schools and hospitals, the suffocation of industries, and the collapse of national morale now dares to accuse its disillusioned youth of being under the influence of drugs. But who in truth is intoxicated? The youth who have been their futures, who have seen their futures stolen, or the regime drawn on power and delusion? There is an old saying, give a dog a bad name to hang it. That is precisely what Paul Atanganji and his government are doing to Issa Tchiroma and the thousands who took to the streets in anger after the proclamation of the October 12 presidential elections. By branding them as drug addicts and violent mobs, the regime creates a false moral justification to unleash repression, arrests, torture, disappearances, and the silencing of every dissenting voice in that country. It is the oldest trick in the dictator's book. Demonize your critics, then destroy them. Accusing Issa Tchiroma of inciting violence is laughable in a country where violence is the daily language of governance. It is the police who shot unarmed civilians. It is the gendarmes who break into homes at night. It is the military that fires live rounds at peaceful demonstrators. And it is Paul Atanganji's own ministry that signs off on every crackdown. What the minister calls civil unrest is nothing more than the eruption of a deep national frustration, a nation suffocating under the weight of injustice, corruption, war, and the theft of hope. If anyone has incited Cameroonians to anger, it is not Issa Tchiroma. It is the fraudulent electoral system overseen by Elecam and sanctified by the Constitutional Council. It is the endless charade of fake democracy in which results are written before ballots are counted. It is the audacity of a government that forces citizens to vote under the gaze of armed soldiers, then laughs at their pain when the results are reversed. The people are not fools. I guess Cameroonians are not fools. They know what they saw at the polling stations. They know who they voted for. They know the truth has been twisted beyond recognition. The people's anger is not the product of drug use, as Paul Atanganji wants people to believe. It is the product of betrayal. Atanganji's attempt to pin the protest on narcotics is therefore an insult to the collective intelligence of the people of Cameroon. It trivializes genuine political discontent and mocks the very real wounds inflicted by decades of tyranny by the same regime. The government of Cameroon is a master at manufacturing crises, then blaming others for the ashes. When young people rise up, the regime calls them hooligans, drug addicts. When workers strike, they are labeled troublemakers. When journalists report the truth, they are branded agents of destabilization. The real destabilizers sit in high offices in Yaoundé, signing decrees that drain the nation's lifeblood. They steal public funds meant for schools and hospitals, and they rig elections with the same precision used to rig tenders. And when the people can no longer breathe, they are told, go about your business as usual, go back to business. But how can the people go about their business as usual, normally, when there are no jobs, when schools are underfunded, when hospitals are empty, when even electricity and water are luxuries for the majority? How is it possible? How can they go about their business normally when their votes have been stolen, their voices muted, their hopes crushed under the boot of an aging autocracy? How do the wounded pretend to be well? Atanganji speaks as if the country were a playground where ye alone get to set the rules. But the people are no longer fooled. They see through the mask. The minister may control the television screens, but he cannot control the truth in the hearts of the people of Cameroon. Those guys, young men and women you find on streets. Cameroon's ruling elite, now in its twilight years, operates with a moral blindness so profound that it no longer understands the meaning of empathy or accountability. They have ruled so long that they mistake endurance for legitimacy. They confuse silence with consent and fear with respect. Paul Atanganji's contemptuous speech reflects that moral decay. In his world, the youth are not citizens, they are potential criminals. Opposition leaders are not rivals, they are enemies of the state. Journalists are not watchdogs, they are traitors. Such thinking explains why the regime remains trapped in perpetual crisis. It cannot reform because it cannot admit its own guilt. That's just what it is. This is the point. The young people protesting in Cameroon streets are not. Again, they are not on drugs. They are on despair. They are high on disappointment and overdosing on helplessness. That's what they face. They have watched the same faces rule them for over 40 years. 40 years. They have seen promises recycled and dreams deferred. They are living in a nation where merit is mocked, where corruption is rewarded, and where truth itself is illegal. Calling them drug users or drug addicts is the ultimate act of cowardice from Atanganji. That is what it is. That is what it is, and they created the economy the young people face. Issa's Tchiroma declaration that he won the October 12th election is not the act of a madman or a criminal, not at all. It is a cry of a patriot who refuses to bow to a fraudulent order. Tchiroma's courage to say, "I am the rightful president," is the spark of national conscience, long buried under fear. For Paul Atanganji to call that rebellion only exposes his own fear, the fear of truth. When Tchiroma calls for justice, he is branded a troublemaker. When citizens march for transparency, they are branded addicts. When journalists expose corruption, they are accused of treason. This is the Orwellian reality Cameroon now lives in. A land where truth is sedition and silence is citizenship. Atanganji's call for citizens to go about their business activities as usual is perhaps the cruelest line of all. How can a country be normal when it is bleeding? How can a mother who lost her son to police bullets return to selling tomatoes as if nothing happened? How can a student whose ballot was trashed in broad daylight return to class believing that effort still matters? How can the nation, the country, act as though it is whole when the wound of electoral theft and fraud still festers? The minister's call for no mercy is a demand for silence. It is a command to forget. But a people that forgets its humiliation becomes complicit in its own enslavement. In the end, Paul Atanganji's statement is less a reflection of authority than of panic. It reveals a government rattled by the truth that the people have stopped believing them. For decades, the regime relied on propaganda and fear to maintain control. But now, both are failing. The people are no longer afraid, and the propaganda no longer convinces. Every insult, Every arrest, every threat only deepens the gulf between ruler and ruled. The minister may think he is defending stability, but in truth, he is defending rot. The house is collapsing, and he is blaming the wind. Paul Atanganji's press statement will be remembered, not for its content, but for its contempt. It is the latest evidence that Cameroon's rulers have lost their ability to govern through persuasion and now rely solely on intimidation. By blaming protesters for being on drugs, the minister has confirmed what the nation already knows, that these regimes reflect is to criminalize its victims and victimize itself. Cameroon's youth are not addicts, they are patriots. Their protests are not crimes, they are cries for dignity. And Issa Tchiroma's defiance is not rebellion either. It is resistance against a fraudulent system that has for too long mistaken power for wisdom and fear for peace. Until men like Atanganji learn to respect the people's pain instead of mocking it, there will be no mercy in Cameroon. Only the quiet rage of a betrayed nation waiting for justice. And that is that monologue, ladies and gentlemen. I am being joined at this moment by Comrade Dennis Atem and John Ba Akuro. Comrade Dennis, pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chris. I'm glad to be at your show today.
All right. And John, a pleasure to have you coming back to the show. I think you are muted. Your microphone is muted.
Oh,
All right.
apologies. I didn't take note. Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. And my regards to everyone who is watching at this time. Greetings, Comrade Dennis Atemkeng. Glad to be on the set with you. Thanks, Chris.
Greetings, sir.
All right, Comrade, let's delve into the issues right away. I'm sure both of you have listened to the press statement from Paul Atanganji addressing Cameroon youths protesting the rigging of their elections, referring to them as drug addicts. What went through your mind listening to Paul Atanganji make a statement like this? John Ba Akuro.
Well, I know Paul Atanganji personally. I have had to deal with Paul Atanganji way back in Cameroon. And Paul Atanganji, I usually don't blame him very much. I blame those who gave him the responsibility to do those kind of things. Because generally, Paul Atanganji is reckless in his communication. Paul Atanganji is somebody that speaks before he thinks. And again, he even doesn't have the capacity to carry out those duties that are entrusted in his hands, because Paul Atanganji is a secondary school dropout, so you don't expect him to be able to process all those things that you were saying.
And a felon, as I learned also. I learned he's also a felon, right?
Of course, he's a felon. He spent time at the New Bell prison. That is not, that's not news to anyone. The level of recklessness you get from Paul Atanganji demonstrates to you clearly what system he belongs to. And I want to be honest here. Paul Atanganji is doing exactly what the system hired him to do. And that system has an approach at governance. The approach is always ensuring that you go in a community and you take the dullest, you take the most stupid, you take the most reckless, you take the one that makes the people of that community begin to look low on themselves. And when they take this type of person, they use that kind of person to make the intelligentsia from that community start asking themselves questions, and that is deliberate. It's meant to break the people, create a circle of kind of dependency, and make the people to lose their self-worth. So all the trash that you're getting come out from the Atanga Ponji's mouth is not like it's something new. I just want to say this quickly as we are at the start of this program, before I conclude my remarks with respect to this question. Just before I came to the studio, Chris, I came away from the air where I had a presentation talking about something called La stratégie de conservation du pouvoir. And while I was talking about that, I received some audio messages from some people on the ground, and those audio messages were in French. Those audio messages are telling the people in Douala that Ambazonian fighters have entered into Douala. And so they have to be careful because Amba are in Douala. And this is coming from the military who are warning people. Amba has come and they are warning their outer posts. One even claims that some of the Ambazonian freedom fighters stopped in Suza and wreaked some havoc there before getting into Douala. I want to take this opportunity to make this clarification. And I want to send this warning. You and I know this is not true. You and I know this is manipulation. You and I know this is fabrication. This still falls in line with Paul Atanganji's style. And I talked about it elaborately on my show just now. This is an attempt to victimize our people again in the city of Douala. They've sent in a lot of troops. You heard about the commandement opérationnel that happened in Douala at some point with a certain loss of 9 Bepanda people. So what they are doing is setting the scene to set an example on the people of the Southern Cameroons who are based in Douala. You will hear tomorrow morning that they are breaking homes in neighborhoods that are suspected to be thickly populated by people of Southern Cameroon's origins and carting men, young men, and all of those things out of there and claiming they will even plant guns on them and say these are Ambazonian fighters who have come into Douala to wreak havoc. This goes back to what I've been saying for a long time. I've been pleading with our people, get out of the cities and towns of La République du Cameroon. Because when a time comes like this, they are looking for somebody to victimize. They are looking for somebody to set an example on and to create fear and panic in the rest of the people. And that audio is a clear indication that they are preparing a Southern Cameroonians massacre again in Douala. And this is the handiwork of Atanga.
Well, I don't know whether you listened to my monologue. I actually presented, before the monologue, I presented some images emerging from Ebolowa in the south, where Anglophone shops and Bamileke shops, as they call it, are being put on fire. So I wouldn't be surprised at all, especially Bonaberry in Douala, that before daybreak, Anglophones, as they call it, are being chased out and killed in that city.
That's exactly what I'm raising this alarm. And I had raised this alarm before. I had told our people a long time ago, leave those cities. I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand this. I told them we have lost a lot of lives. We have gone through a lot of pain. We have seen, a lot of dehumanization. And you notice the attitude of the soldiers of La République du Cameroon towards their citizens. You see in certain places they're even playing, they're even fraternizing. But when they will come face to face with any of our people, it will be fire. It will not be laughter. They will kill. They don't joke when it comes to our people. So that is why I told our people, please leave the cities and towns of La République du Cameroon while you are still able to. Because when you get those kind of audios, it's a clear indication of a cleansing that is coming. So they want to leave their people, but set an example on our people. You saw how they went to Jekam Chameni's house and then they said Ekane and went with guns, with war weapons, and put them there and said they took them from their houses. That's exactly what they are going to do on our people. Set up and start catching people who thought that they were running to safety from Douala again and taking them to Yaoundé. Those will be lucky to arrive there alive. This is the problem that I have. And I want that our people should circulate this information among themselves. And at the earliest opportunity, they should leave La République du Cameroon until further notice. Because this situation is not going to improve overnight. People are thinking it's going to improve. It's not going to improve overnight. It will escalate as soon as Issa Tchiroma announces his government. And that's going to happen. It's going to happen very fast.
Don't be worried. We're coming to that. Don't be worried. We're coming to that. Let's get Dennis Atem's opinion on what the developments that, John, you are talking about, and the statements from Paul Atanganji. I think you are muted.
Comrade Chris, I think your monologue was really very powerful and very clear. They say empty verses make the loudest noise. Atanganji is one of those empty verses. And as Comrade Mbakuru said, the strategy for the preservation of power clearly says inside that the regime should hire only people who are the most rejected in their community so that they will believe that their power comes only from the government and not from their people. And so they can also manipulate those people as much as possible. So Atanganji is completely, I don't know how to describe him, whether an object for the regime to use or simply someone who is an errand boy to do all the bad jobs and to do all the odd jobs that they give him. So you can see now that they managed to steal the victory, he has come out. He was a bit quiet when the situation was uncertain, but as soon as the situation became certain, he's out again talking and opening his eyes and trying to intimidate people once more. The most unfortunate thing that has happened in Cameroon is the brainwashing. You see, the people's minds are so scrambled and confused that nobody thinks straight. Nobody thinks straight. Nobody thinks straight in that country anymore. Even the ability to mobilize and act the way the Ambazonians have acted is almost impossible in La République du Cameroon, given the situation in which the people are. You are telling our people to move, but you see, their minds are not clear at all. They do not see the danger they are facing. So it's a very, very bad situation that we're facing with people like Paul Atanganji and the regime itself, because the damage it has not done is not just electoral theft. The worst damage is the derangement of the minds, because that is the most fundamental thing that this regime has done to the people of Cameroon and Ambazonians. So let us wait and see how things will turn out. But I don't think Atanganji will last for very long. Things will catch up with him. Things will catch up with him.
John, you talk about Anglophone. I'm using their terminology. You talk about Anglophones better leaving La République du Cameroun. There is a certain class of Anglophones that you and I know have nowhere to go to. I'm talking about all the elite, all the chiefs, the phones who are hiding over there. What becomes of them when the people begin to leave? Because when the attack comes, Francophones don't care who you are. They only care that you speak English.
Well, you cannot sow cocoyam and expect to harvest plantain. It's that simple. For those ones, I suppose they have the means to come and meet us here in the diaspora, so that we can start having some very interesting conversations with them out here. Because what is certain is that, I've been trying to educate that particular class of people that you are talking about with respect to what happened in East Timor. You know what happened in East Timor? The people, the elite of East Timor, just like those members of the CPDM crime syndicate in our land, thought that they were, so loved by the people of Indonesia. And so when they kept working with the people of Indonesia against the interest of their own people, they believed that they could even become citizens. If anything happened, they would stay in Indonesia. But in the end, when East Timor got its independence, when East Timor succeeded in breaking off from Indonesia, those people wanted to stay in Indonesia. But you know what the Indonesians did? They gathered all of them and got to the border and pushed them into Timor-Leste. Whatever the East Timorians did with them, that was their business. And the reason they did that was that they said those people were traitors, because if they had allowed them the opportunity to know the reality in East Timor, to know the truth about the feelings of the East Timorians, they will never have lost that territory. So I've told those people that when push will come to shove, the people of La République du Cameroon would definitely say that you made it impossible for them to understand the real feelings of the ordinary Southern Cameroonians. And so you were the one that caused them to lose the grip that they had on the Southern Cameroons. And so you cannot want to have safe haven in their country. And of course, what is going to happen is going to happen. Don't forget, uh, my brother Dennis Atem can just talk a while ago about some components of that strategy, the conservation du pouvoir. That's what I'm just presenting really detailedly on the air. That particular document creates a national tribe. That national tribe is made up of only between 2,500 to 3,000 people. And among them are people from all over. And so the people of La République du Cameroon are thoroughly being sensitized about the members of that tribe. And these people that you are talking about, they belong to that tribe. And those are the people who are facing chastisement. So when I'm asking our people to go back home, those are not the kind of people I'm talking to. I'm talking to the ordinary Southern Cameroonian who is suffering under the weight of the dehumanization that we are all seeing, that they should be able to run to safety. For that particular class, they know where they belong, and they know what to do with themselves. If you ask me, I say let them rot in hell.
Dennis, please.
Many of them are forgetting that Paul Biya may not even rule for 1 year, even if he has stolen the election. So, it will catch up with him very soon. And possibly the next regime may not be that of the same people. So, the Atanganchis and all those people, the chiefs and friends who have decided to betray their people to go, and I don't know whether it's for the small allowances that they are giving or for what, I don't know, because they don't have a sense of nationhood. If you go to the Amazonian people today, they will go to war if a neighboring tribe enters their territory. But La République du Cameroon has come and taken the whole of Ambazonia, and they don't seem to see it. It is very strange to me. So they will face the music very soon. I can assure you that. Because if they think that they're hiding behind the name of Phobia, that name will go also very soon. That name will also disappear very soon. So things will take a very different turn in a very short while. I can assure you about that. So let us just wait and see.
Now, let's look at this. A number of things are happening. You find, I have learned that the Pope will be visiting Cameroon for whatever reason. I don't know why he should be going there now. To me, I would say go nowhere, not even not Cameroon. Because I heard a situation where he goes and talk about peace, need for peace, peace.
Oh, yes.
I think at this moment, Cameroonians need justice before they can talk of peace, and no amount of preaching peace will give the people their stolen victory. Number two, I see the United Nations Human Rights Commission indicting Cameroon for indiscriminately shooting people, picking up someone, putting them behind bars, pressure all over the place, and in the midst of this, very few countries, I don't think I can count up to 3 countries that have formally greeted Paul Biya for a certain re-election. What do you guys make of this? John?
Let me just go first, John.
Okay.
I don't think Cameroon takes the Western world seriously at all, because it knows that at the beginning they will do that, but in 2 days they will come back and fraternize. And because remember that it is the Western world that is manipulating Phobia all along. France and the United States and Britain, they're the ones manipulating La République du Cameroon. So they don't care. They know that all of this is just theatrics. Even the United Nations is not serious, because in no time you will see that it will come back and start fraternizing. You hear the IMF giving more loans to Cameroon. So nothing will happen really. So they don't care. They are just laughing at all the theatrics, because they said, don't bother about the so-called international community. It means absolutely nothing. It's a toothless bulldog. So we just do our thing, and they will make the noise, and afterwards come and fraternize with us. So I think that is the attitude. That's the attitude, really. So that is how I see it.
John, please.
Yeah, Chris, I think you should have realized by now that Paul Biya has the same status like someone in the Middle East. That is, he's above the law. He's above international law. Paul Biya has never been held to account anywhere, not any time on the international scene. I mean, this is since 1992, where we saw the most egregious kinds of acts carried out on the people. In Douala, things were so rough that they even, I mean, they disappeared people and they disappeared until today. Nobody has heard about any traces. Nothing has happened. What is it that has happened in Douala that they are making noise, or happened in La Republica that they are making noise just this past few days? If they could not make a noise about roasting people alive in their houses in southern Cameroons, you know about Mama Api. If they could not make noise about shooting babies on the streets, you know about Bebe Carol Louis. You know about Bebe Brandy Tato. If they could not make a noise about what happened in Gabu, after the noise they made about Gabu, what has happened until today? So what I want to say is, La République du Cameroon is certain about one thing. As long as they protect the interest of France, they can go ahead and do everything they want with impunity. You saw that Ouattara knows that. Ouattara did the same thing in Cote d'Ivoire when he was fighting to take power from Gbagbo. And he's even doing it again right now. Nothing's going to happen. I've told people about the international system. The world is divided into spheres of influence, and these spheres of influence are under under five nations, five world leaders. You have China, you have Russia, you have France, you have Britain, and you have the United States of America. That is what it is. So, if at all you are in the bad books of the country that is in charge of the sphere where you are, that's where you will find the hammer falling on you. But if you are in their good books, kill as much as you can. Kill even for your sport. That's not a problem. So, at the level of international law, I would say international law normally has eyes, because the law should be blind, but
Yeah.
international law has eyes, and so there is no point. Don't allow yourself to be butchered, to be battered in Cameroon, thinking that they will see those things. Chris, I think you forget something I said in 2018. I presented a document in 2018. That document was it emanated from the Prime Minister's office of La République du Cameroon, and it was addressed to the President of the Republic. A report presented by Joseph John Gute, who was sent on mission to New York with one Professor Nkot, who was an advisor at the Prime Minister's office. At that time, John Gute was Minister Delegate or Minister for Special Missions, was in charge of special duties at the presidency, and they were with Elvis Ngole. So they had this gentleman, they came together to the United States. That was at the heart of the crisis in the southern Cameroons. And that was in 2018. And the Secretary General of the United Nations promised to use his good offices to clean Paul Biya's image by saying that although there was so much cries of human rights violations and all whatnot, but he's aware that weaker structures like us that are struggling to fight for independence usually will go out there, provoke, and then when the forces come in reaction, in defense of the state institutions and all of those things, they will start screaming human rights, human rights, human rights.
Yeah.
So he's aware of those things, and he was going to use his good offices to do public relations for the regime of Paul Biya. So what do you expect? That was an official document that I got. It's not like it's something that I picked from the streets. It came to me right from that presidency. So what I'm telling, and it is this same Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres. So I'm not defaming. So those are the things. Those are the things that make me tell the people that when you are going out there or whatever we are doing, know that first and foremost, it is only when we demonstrate on the ground that we have become so impossible, and the system that they are sponsoring becomes so incapable of holding us, they get forced to vomit us, and they tell them, no, we can't hold them anymore. We have to let them go. That is the time that those things happen. But if you expect that there is something called moral conscience at the international level, you are carefully mistaken. They have
No
only
way.
interests.
There's no such thing.
They have only interests. They don't care about the lives and well-beings of people. No.
Well, you guys, I'd like you guys to please stay tuned, listen to this young guy. I think he is speaking from Boya. I'd like us to look at this crisis in La République du Cameroon vis-a-vis the Ambazonian conflict, what Ambazonians are saying and how they feel. Listen to this young guy.
I don't tell you now, but Douala. When I social media, I talk say, me anglophone, the more can stand for road. We need to stand for road. We need to fight nothing for my sister. Yeah, but tell you now. Any man we go to say, we need to fight. We, my sister, begin to also need to fight. You understand for road. We don't over suffer. We don't over 9 years, 9 years. But do not to suffer here. I'm here to talk. More massive suffer for this country. Because make us stop for road. Make the one of the stop to now. The people my sister guy talk. Let me talk. Show them my sister all my beauty. This does it go on for our town. We don't get nothing to do. What Tchiroma minister we know we. Tchiroma time minister we know we. Say we not come up for. We need fights. Don't be cry Tchiroma say you boy.
Okay, so the sentiment, gentlemen, the sentiment is that this has nothing. What is going on in La République du Cameroon should have nothing to do with Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians, because for 9 years, as you listen to that guy, they have fought and died fighting and still fighting. And now is not a time to go and die for a democratic process in La République du Cameroon. This is the message I believe everybody on ground zero should heed. Am I wrong? Dennis?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, Comrade Chris. Absolutely not. This is their fight. They should fight it. The only mistake I hear from this man's talk is that we have oversuffered. No, we have not oversuffered. We have suffered, yes, and we are continuing to suffer. Our fight is not yet over. Our victory is not yet guaranteed. So it is not as if we have oversuffered. We have fought our own fight. We are fighting our own fight. Let them fight their own. That is the fact of the matter, you know. But to say that our people should risk their lives, go and stand on the road or whatever, no, no, and no. This is a La République issue. Let them fight their fight. We give them multipartism. There is no reform that has come in that country that we did not spearhead. It is time for us to do our own thing and for them to do their own. That is it. That is it.
John, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I have been very vocal and I've been very clear about this notion of us minding our business. Let the people of La République du Cameroon fight their fight. While they are fighting their fight, we mind our business. But minding our business doesn't mean that we fold our arms. Minding our business means that we should be able to take the opportunity of this moment to ensure that we get the remnants of the people of La République du Cameroon, especially those those colonial administrators and all those members of those occupational forces. We should be pushing them out to go back to their country and fix the things in their country. So actually, not getting involved in their fight doesn't mean that as Dennis said, doesn't mean that that we are going to fold our arms. This is a moment we have been waiting for. We have been waiting for this moment, not to go and die on their behalf, but to make sure that we are continuing to fight the noble fight, which is that of restoring the soul of our land, which is that of taking them out of our land, getting back our land, so we have the opportunity to define our own development priorities. So we have the opportunity to define how we want our society to be run. So we have the opportunity to define our own educational system. So we have the opportunity to make our people get treated as humans and be treated as princes and princesses in their homeland. That is what matters to us right now. The only kind of help you and I, Chris, can offer to them is help sensitize them like we do once in a while. Tell them what to do. Make sure you are fighting for your rights. Don't give up now. Yes, you have what it takes to do it. This is how you should do it. Yeah, that we can offer to them. But with respect to our people, going out on the streets, that they are going out because they want to go and die for things that are good for the poor of like people to come. No, that's a waste. A lot of people are telling us if we all come out, they come out and we too come out. I said it that they were going to find themselves being addressed terrorists, just like they have been going on social media and happily addressing us terrorists. It has started. I told them everyone was going to have their turn at the barbers. Of course, they are getting it. I told them, Paul Tanganji, when he arrived, one of them told me, oui, on a amené Paul Tanganji là maintenant, vous allez vous calmer. I've told them, vous aussi, vous allez vous calmer. So, as a matter of fact, let them go have their turn at the barbers. We fought from 1992 for change. If they had joined us and fought with us the way we were fighting, Paul Biya will not even be there in the first place. We won't be where we are right now. We are where we are right now because we have realized that they understand we have different destinies. Our own destiny is a destiny of people who know what they deserve and who are ready to fight and die for it. Theirs is that of a people who know what they deserve, but they are ready to compromise. They are ready to settle for less than they deserve. They want to stay a province of France. Let them fight to be a province of France. That is their business. My late father would have referred to this as being a war behind the hills.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please stay seated. When I come back, I will take you into the main subject of the day. The question of whether Issa Tchiroma should be sworn in or not. You don't want to miss it. So please stay tuned and I'll be right back.
This can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put out there. At this moment, I bring you my main monologue of the day titled, Why Issa Tchiroma Should Take the Oath Now. Why Issa Tchiroma should take the oath of office. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the subject of this monologue that I bring to you at this moment. Please, you can't go away. In the burning heat of northern Cameroon, where the Benue River twists through the red dust, something stirs. It is not an army rising or gunfire cracking through the air. It is quieter than that. An idea carried in whispers and in the promise of an oath. Paul Biya, now 92 years old, a shadow from another century, still wants to cling to power. His victory in the October 12 election has not been greeted with cheers of hope, but with disbelief. The Constitutional Council, loyal as ever, handed him 53.66% of the vote, despite the widespread reports of rigged polls, fake stations, ballot stuffing, and vanished ballots. Issa Tchiroma Bakari, once Paul Biya's ally, and now his loudest nemesis, according to the Constitutional Council, officially won only 35.1% of the vote. That is what it reported. Nationwide, Cameroonians disagree. On the street, they believe Issa Tchiroma won by a landslide. Their belief is supported by unadulterated results captured polling station by polling station across the country. Those results show that Issa Tchiroma won by a wide margin, 54.8%, with Biya far behind with only 31.3% of the vote cast. And yet, Biya stays. He survives, not because Cameroonians love him, but because fear and habit keep his system alive. The wolf, for its part, is staggering. No congratulations from Washington or Paris. None of the usual diplomatic smiles from London or Brussels. Even the African Union's message of national dialogue sounds forced, almost embarrassed. Everyone sees exactly what this is about. A 92-year-old ruler clinging to a chair that long ago stopped belonging to him. Right now, as I speak, the moment belongs to Issa Tchiroma. He doesn't need soldiers. He needs audacity. That means taking the oath of office himself, declaring that he is president. Would not be rebellion. It would be an awakening. Should Issa Tchiroma choose to wait, to hold on, Biya's false victory will harden into something permanent. But if Issa Tchiroma acts and acts now, if he stands before the people in Garoua and swears to lead, then the Biya's illusion breaks. The world will have to pay attention. They will have to listen to him. Legitimacy in this matter should not come from corrupt judges. It's earned. And when a leader dares to embody the will of the people, Biya's claim to power is a piece of paper. France, his longtime backer, has said nothing. The US mumbles only about irregularities. The European Union says the vote was flawed. The vote was flawed. Britain looks away while police beat protesters chanting and proclaiming Issa Tchiroma their president. This silence says everything, everything. It is not indifference. It is quiet rejection of Paul Biya. The world senses the rot. 4 decades of repression, disappearing journalists, neglected youth, and promises turned to dust. If Issa Tchiroma swears himself in, he doesn't just challenge Biya. He creates something new, a Cameroon that breathes again, a version of the country that exists, not in speeches, but in the faces of market women in Marawa, farmers in Ngaoundéré, and families in Garoua who have had enough. Yaoundé, with all its fear and ceremony, would have to face a rival power that is real, not rhetorical. The plan is clear. Garoua, Issa Tchiroma's home, is a perfect place. It's proud, northern, and already disillusioned with Paul Biya's rule. What Issa Tchiroma should do is find a local judge, one untainted by Yaoundé's control, and take the oath of office publicly. Let it happen in the open. Chiefs, imams, opposition leaders, journalists, even the diaspora watching online. Let the cameras catch the hand on the Quran. The gavel strike, the crowds row. It is theater, yes, but theater that makes a point the whole world can't ignore. Days after taking the oath, he could announce his government. A government made up of experts from abroad, trusted reformers at home, people whose names stand for competence rather than corruption. Then appoint transitional governors for Ngaoundéré, Garoua, and Maroua, the northern regions where Paul Biya's influence is weakest. These governors could begin working right away, even virtually. They did release statements, coordinate with 8 groups, organize local protection forces, and build a sense of functioning authority independent of Yaoundé. Issa Tchiroma wouldn't need to sit in the capital in Yaoundé. He could speak from anywhere through podcasts, videos, or broadcasts reaching every corner of the country. And this isn't fantasy. It is smart politics. The moment Issa Tchiroma began to act like the real president, Paul Biya's claim begins to wither. Slowly, people and institutions would shift loyalty. 8 organizations would talk to Issa Tchiroma's team. The army, especially those from the north, would hesitate to attack someone their own families respect. Bureaucrats would start to worry, unsure which side will outlast the other. And then, the real movement begins. Because the world doesn't like chaos. 2 presidents in one country. That kind of tension forces action. Diplomats would rush in, not out of kindness, but of necessity. There will be urgent meetings in Addis Ababa, discreet phone calls from Paris, quiet proposals of safe retirement for Paul Biya, exile, amnesty, villas on the Riviera, whatever it takes to ease him out. The pitch would be simple. Step aside, keep your loot, your life, and your dignity, and let Cameroon move on. Issa Tchiroma would promise peace, not revenge, and that would make him the only acceptable solution. That is why Issa Tchiroma must act now, not later, not after some negotiations. He must act now. The oath is not just ceremony. It is the transfer of moral power. It is the line that separates the pretender from the rightful heir. And history backed this with truth, unshakable clarity. 2010, Côte d'Ivoire's leader, Laurent Gbagbo, tried to defy the will of the people. He controlled the army, the courts, and the media. And still, Laurent Gbagbo fell. Why? Because Alassane Ouattara, the winner, went ahead and took the oath of office. He did not wait for Gbagbo's permission. He stood before his supporters in an Abidjan hotel, ladies and gentlemen, Abidjan hotel, and swore to defend the people's mandate. That single act, quiet, legal, but audacious, split Gbagbo's illusion of power. Within months, international recognition and internal momentum swung behind Ouattara, and Gbagbo was pulled from his bunker and sent on exile. How about the Gambia? The Gambia told the same story in 2016. Yahya Jammeh, the self-styled strongman who once declared he would rule the Gambia for 1 billion years, refused to concede defeat after losing to Adama Barrow, that is 2016. But Adama Barrow, instead of pleading or begging, he acted. He took the oath of office not in Banjul, but in exile, in Dakar, Senegal. That symbolic gesture electrified his people, rallied the world, and gave ECOWAS the moral clarity to intervene. Within days, Yahya Jammeh was on a plane into exile, and the Gambia was free. Even Madagascar's 2009 crisis affirms the same lesson. When 34-year-old Andry Rajoelina stood before a crowd and took a symbolic oath of office amid a nation's fury, the old regime's grip began to melt. The world adjusted to the new reality because the symbolism of that art was more powerful than the guns that opposed it. He had taken the mantle of authority, and the people followed. Each of these moments, ladies and gentlemen, reveals a truth that dictators never learn until it is too late. Once someone else takes the oath, the spell of absolute power is broken. The aura of invincibility vanishes, it disappears. Ministers begin to hesitate. Soldiers begin to doubt. The palace starts to tremble. Legitimacy, that invincible currency of rule, begins to migrate. And no regime, however powerful and brutal, can halt that movement. The oath is no rebellion. It is the restoration of moral order. It is the people's silent thunder against tyranny. Mr. Biya's case is even weaker at his age. His body and mind are betraying him. His ministers stay out of fear, not loyalty, and when they sense danger, change, they will run. The regime will crumble, not with explosions, but in silence. Funds frozen, governors defecting, soldiers refusing to fight. And from that collapse could rise something better. Tchiroma's Cameroon, fairer and federal according to his words, one where all voices finally matter. But this window won't stay open forever. If Issa Tchiroma delays, Biya's system will dig in again. Protests will die out and despair will return. Yet, if he acts now, if he takes the oath in Garawa, before the people who have waited for decades, he turns faith into fact. His words could reshape the nation's future. The world would follow his lead because it would have no other choice. And Paul Biya, he would live quietly, carried away by age and the weight of history. His allies would scatter, their fortunes hidden abroad, their slogans forgotten. Cameroon would wake up, not to vengeance, but to momentum. A new generation would step forward, including those the old system ignored, the young, the poor, and the forgotten. This isn't wishful thinking, ladies and gentlemen. It is a test of nerve. Issa Tchiroma, once an engineer of Biya's roads, now stands where two paths meet. One leads back into fear, the other towards a reborn country. Now he knows what he has to do. Take the oath, claim the mandate. Let the world see what courage looks like when power refuses to let go. In time, Cameroon won't remember the man who refused to leave. They won't remember the man who refused to leave. It will remember, however, the one who made him leave and who dared to begin again. And that is my monologue, ladies and gentlemen. I bring back my panel. Dennis, let me start with you. I see a smile on your face there. What is happening, sir?
Comrade Chris, that is a very audacious idea, which can inspire Tchiroma. I hope he's listening. It's a very audacious idea. If it inspires him and he does that, and at least has 1, 2, 3 of the provinces.
Let me stop you there. I don't see any audacity here, though. An act is an act of audacity because he will not be the first person to do it. I quoted Cote d'Ivoire. I quoted the Gambia, Madagascar. He will not be the first to do it, but for Cameroon's example, that will be audacious on his part.
The audacity comes from the fact that, those countries you have quoted, Cote d'Ivoire has almost the same economic influence with the West like Cameroon. And, it depends on where the West stands, because if he takes the momentum now, before the congratulations come in, I think he has a big chance to split those who are going to congratulate Biya, and he can take a firm position. So in that sense, it is not as audacious as one may think. But if he hesitates and the moment passes, it will be very difficult for him to recover anything. If he can manage to control Gaundere, Garwa, and Marwa, that is enough.
Yeah.
That is enough. That provides sufficient threat to Biya and give some kind of legitimacy that he has some population under his control, and there's no way that Biya can just cross over and do as he likes. So I think it is a very audacious idea, because the question that one would have asked is, okay, if he takes an oath, which are the countries that are going to recognize him? So we see that if there are countries that have not recognized Biya yet, or they have not sent congratulations, and Issa Tchiroma goes ahead and takes his own oath, the likelihood is that some of those countries may choose to recognize Tchiroma and not Biya. After all, the idea of Biya winning this election, as I've said, is a complete hoax, because he will not be able to rule for the next 2 years. By all means, I don't see him ruling for the next 2 years. Even the first year, he will be acting through the proxies who have managed to rig these elections on his behalf. So I think that is a very good idea for Tchiroma to take up and quickly get himself sworn in. I think it's a very good idea. One would think that it is audacious, but looking at the examples you have given, it is not as audacious as one may think. I think it's something worth trying. Because other than that, what are the options now? What are the options now? You see, what are the options now? Even if it does an economic blockade, preventing the trucks carrying goods from the north to the south, it will not change anything unless it takes a dramatic step like taking an oath, being sworn in. So I think it is something worth trying. It's something worth trying.
All right, let me get to John. John, you have articulated this previously very eloquently, and I think the examples that I have quoted here are the examples that if Tchiroma were to hesitate for a second, he should think twice looking at those examples of Cote d'Ivoire, the Gambia, Madagascar, and know that because if he doesn't do this and Biya remains in power in the next 2 weeks, he should forget about leading Cameroon. I mean, Issa Tchiroma. You are muted on your side.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I brought up this idea about, I think, about 3 days ago, where I elaborated very clearly why it will make sense for him to, for Issa Tchiroma Bakari to go ahead and take the oath of office. I was actually even quoting, it's a legal expert that is based in Geneva, in Switzerland, who took time off to bring out provisions in the constitution of La République du Cameroon that are quite compelling and should make Issa Tchiroma Bakari to understand the need to go ahead and get sworn in, because this is what it is. First, the constitution of Cameroon is clear: sovereignty rests with the people. Sovereignty rests with the people. And if sovereignty rests with the people, that's in Article 2 of the Constitution. If sovereignty rests with the people therefore decide on whom to confer that sovereignty. And at the ballot box, the people confer that sovereignty on Issa Tchiroma Bakari. Now, when the Constitutional Council comes and performs a perfunctory act, because that's what I call a perfunctory act, of declaring Paul Biya the winner, the Constitutional Council is not given the power to take away the sovereignty from the people. The act of the Constitutional Council, if you situate it in law, it's only a perfunctory act, a duty that has to be conducted, just like rendering public or proclaiming something. There is nowhere in the Constitution which says that the Constitutional Council can supplant the people of their sovereignty. So because the sovereignty rests on Issa Tchiroma Bakari, if he goes ahead to take the oath of office, of course, Issa Tchiroma Bakari will be indicating to the people that he is ready to stand with them. He is taking sovereignty. He is now going ahead to be sworn into office, and then he can name a provisional government enabling him to go ahead and defend the sovereignty of the nation. Now you will be faced with something that you will call, vis-a-vis the only government, what you call legality versus sovereignty. Probably at the end of the day may say, okay, his victory was proclaimed by the Constitutional Council, which is the body endowed with carrying out that perfunctory duty, and then perhaps he's going to be sworn in by the National Assembly and the Speaker of the Assembly, which is supposed to, but that will simply be conferring on him legality, not sovereignty. So these are two different things. And then you quoted a series of examples. Of course, I did talk about those examples through that I talked about Cote d'Ivoire. I really didn't get into the Gambia. I'll tell you why I bothered more about Cote d'Ivoire. You mentioned Cote d'Ivoire, but there's something you omitted in your very beautiful monologue. What you omitted in that beautiful monologue was that the situation in Cote d'Ivoire was such that even while the elections were going on, the French had soured on Gbagbo. The French had not wanted Gbagbo in the first place. And the French were standing by Alassane Dramane Ouattara. And the French troops in Abidjan, because France had military bases in Abidjan. And so the French troops in Abidjan were already on standby to provide assistance to Alassane Dramane Ouattara. And France had been very vocal, clear, and everything. And it takes us back to the issue of spheres of influence. And so Cote d'Ivoire fell under France's sphere of influence. And so it was easy for France to mobilize its allies to tell Laurent Gbagbo that you must go away, you will not stand. You know, eventually an audit of those votes was made, and it was clear that it's even Laurent Gbagbo that won the vote. But because France had actually played all it had to play within the system, it turned out that Alassane Dramane Ouattara could be able to pull it out the way he did. So Alassane Dramane Ouattara could claim that he had the legitimacy because at the time the figures that were floated, which were not the real, gave Alassane Dramane Ouattara.
You are right.
If you just let me wrap up, let's go with the fact that Alassane Dramane Ouattara won the election, but he did what he did. He could go through very quickly because France was supportive. Now, in the case of Issa Tchiroma, in the case of Barrow, of course, Barrow will prevail because that is that's an Anglo-Saxon country, and the British are not so used to interfering directly like the French do, and so ECOWAS the regional bloc ECOWAS could easily come in and tell, the rogue president, man, you have to go. There was no superpower play inside here, and so the regional powers could weigh in and do it. Now, for the case of Issa Tchiroma Bakari, we have France that is militantly still backing Bia, though they are playing games. I played the audio of a minister delegate in the French Ministry of La Francophonie and Cooperation.
John, hold on there. Don't you think that the fact that, number one, the French have not sent a congratulatory message to Bia, except they did it today. Number two, there is also the problem, the concerns of Bia's age. Don't you think the French are worried? And that's why they are remaining quiet.
No, the French are ashamed. They are not worried. Let me explain this to you. Don't forget, it was a former French ambassador, Tchiroma, who went to the Unity Palace to get Paul Biya out, to present, and then come away from there to tell the people of Cameroon that their president still had the capacity to run state affairs, that their president still had a mastery of, the state fires and all whatnot. In the psychic of the French, by getting Maurice Kamto out of the way, they were certain there was no other strong opposition leader capable of challenging Paul Biya at the polls. So the advent, the advent of Issa Tchiroma Bakari, the way he became, this happened in the last 4 to 5 weeks leading to the election. When things changed dramatically, Issa Tchiroma Bakari became, almost like the alpha and the omega of the people, almost became like a Moses to the people who will free the land and all of those things. That took the French and everyone aback.
Yeah,
I was quoting to you the French minister delegate at the French of La Francophonie. She said they were waiting, and in my analysis I had explained that the French will not hurry to send message of congratulations. They will wait because it was seeming dicey. The fraud was blatant. Everybody could see it. France did not condemn. France has not congratulated. They have not condemned. They are waiting. And the attitude of France usually is they will go out there, send their satellite states to congratulate, and then they will come at the end of the day and pretend as if they were just found before a fait accompli. And now that message of congratulations will come. This was the first time the French had waited 1-2 weeks to congratulate. I had predicted even that the French will not congratulate immediately, that they were going to wait it out. And the minister, when she was pressed by the journalist, is France ashamed that Biya won this victory? She said, no, they will not interfere into the internal affairs. They are waiting. He said, but why are you delaying them to congratulate? And she said, they were waiting. They will continue waiting. They are looking at the situation on the ground. They are studying the attitude of the civil society. They want to be in tune with the civil society. They want to protect their interests. They want to protect their goods. They don't want to come across very quickly and confirm that they actually agreed for Paul Biya to be there again. So what Issa Tchiroma Bakari has to do, I come back to this, take the oath of office, name a government, and count on the people, because those acts would tell the people that someone has balls and is ready to lead us in this fight, which is an ultimate fight. From the document I presented today and from what Dennis just said a while ago, I have the feeling he has taken time to go through that document. I had previously shared it, the stratégie de conservation du pouvoir de génération en génération. They don't have any intention of ending now. What they are doing now, they are ready to pull it up for years upon years to come. So the one thing that the message Tchiroma will be sending is that I'm ready to put an end to this cycle. And so the Beti people can now go nuclear, which means you have a country that flies into pieces. Because the Beti people, for them to give up power, the clique that's in place, for them to give up power, they'll be ready to put in place the Beti state I've always talked about. And they are hoping it to be the center, south, and the east. And so if Tchiroma holds his ground and they see that things are going to be rough, they are going to be very ready to say, let them leave him to be making the noise in the Adamawa, the north, and the far north regions. All Paul Biya believes is if he's able to hold Yaoundé, he and his clique, anything can happen anywhere. But don't make the mistake to listen to Jean de Momo that 7 years are short, they will go by very fast. No, this will repeat itself. If
Yeah.
you have to fight, fight now. You have to put an end to it, put an end now. And Issa Tchiroma Bakari right now enjoys popular support. He has the capacity to mobilize the people to do it. So let him go ahead, take the oath of office to send a strong message, and go ahead, name a government, and conduct the people to begin the fight.
The idea from
No,
Jang
I think
Didio Momo that
he
7
can do
years they
that.
go fast. Dennis, I'm coming to you. The idea that
Okay.
7 years go fast, run fast.
Okay.
Bia is not running to stay because he knows there is no way he is going to be there for another 7 years. He is running to entrench his own son or his own crony to take after. It's a plot. So if they are saying so to say, let's just hold our peace, let's just go through these 7 years and come back and fix the country, it's a lie. Nothing is going to change. And I hope the people of Issa Tchiroma listens to this and do not take what Jean Didio and others are saying out there. Dennis, please.
Now, I wanted to say that Tchiroma can dare, if he is assured of the support of a section of the army, because that is critically important. If he has the support of a section of the army, that if he takes the oath and Bia attempts to arrest him or assault him, then that section of the army that supports him will come in his defense. If he has this, then I think he can go ahead and do what is necessary by taking that oath of office. Otherwise, if he's taking it without the support of a section of the army, he will just be gambling, and I don't know whether he will be willing to take that risk.
I think
Because
right
No,
now
Dennis,
we know.
Dennis,
I think
yeah,
right now,
Dennis,
hold
I
on
think,
there, Dennis and John. I think it is evidence that right now we know the army is divided. The army in the north of Cameroon, mostly the Hausas, captains and lieutenants and stuff, they're not going to pick up arms against Issa Tchiroma. They will not. They will not. You saw that in Burkina Faso. It was a captain who took up the challenge and decided to change the regime. You don't need the generals in Yaoundé, the major generals in Yaoundé. You just need some lower level officers who defect and say, we support Issa Tchiroma. People like this guy that have been picked up and they are wasting behind bars now for being vociferous in their support for Issa Tchiroma.
Chris, I was going to tell you that anyone who is thinking that Issa Tchiroma Bakari does not have something up his sleeves at this point in time should simply be naive. Because if Issa Tchiroma Bakari had nothing up his sleeves, by this time he already been in Yaoundé in some cold cell. They have made at least 4 attempts to capture him. If they haven't captured him, it's not because they don't think that because they think it doesn't make sense to capture him. Brutes like Atang and Jiangongo and others don't believe in anything making sense. But it is because right now the situation is that they have realized themselves that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is not stupid. That Issa Tchiroma Bakari is not talking nonsense. Don't forget, Issa Tchiroma Bakari disappeared from the scene for some 4 days immediately after the vote. And so if he could disappear and then reappear, get back, sit there in his house in Garoua, he's not shaking, he's waiting. They have snipers off roofs around him and all whatnot. He's not relenting. He's not staying quiet. That should tell you that, the situation is not as people think. I am personally convinced that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is not just looking at those in the army of Cameroon that they are going to defect immediately and join him.
No, not at all.
He definitely has a starting point. And I told you that there are some sons of the northern regions, soldiers in the army of La République du Cameroon. Who talked to me? They told me they were not as stupid as the Anglophone men and women in uniform to go killing their own people. That if Yaoundé tries that nonsense, they will see for themselves that not everybody is Anglophones. Because they said they actually refer to them as Anglophones. Are the ones who have been leading people in the bushes, showing them hidden roads and all not to go kill their own brothers and sisters, fighting for their own general interest. That is not going to happen with Northerners. And that if Bia begins something, before long he will understand just how useless that venture was going to, be. So I think that there's also therefore that aspect, because you see, like the audios that I told you that I played, you hear I mean, it's a voice of let me call it anglophone, like you're saying, who was swearing that, oh, les ambazoniens sont entrés à Yaoundé. Here he said two. You see, it's just how useless our people are. But these guys, they tell me they are not like that. You find our own people are very trigger happy, going to kill their own brothers and sisters in order to to gain promotion. But what they don't know is that they are not even fighting for Cameroon. They are fighting for a national tribe made up of between 2,500 to 3,000 people who are protecting their interests. And those people make clear they don't have any intention of developing the country. The only intention they have is in staying in power. Because whatever goodies they want, they can earn it for themselves, and their children can always get them out of the country. It is in that document, Stratégie de conservation
Conservation
du
de
pouvoir
pouvoir.
de génération
Yeah,
en
I've seen
génération.
that
Like I
document.
said, I presented it just a while ago. I mean, if you go to my platform right now,
In fact,
the
I
the
actually made a
the
translation of
latest
it
video, you will see that.
and published it.
Yes. Yeah, I shared that thing widely because I had previously published it in English. And I did that because I wanted the people of the Southern Cameroon to understand that in the psychic of La République du Cameroon, the ambition to kill our culture is written in that document. It's a strategy and they will not relent. People who thought that it was a joke will see for themselves that in spite of all the fighting, you see, with respect to the common law, they are not stopping. With all the fighting, they are telling you now that they have to appoint francophones into our land as notaries public
Right.
to take that function away from the common law lawyers who, at the same time, per common law, are notaries public. So that tells you they are still bent on finishing the assimilation project. They are never going to relent. If
And
you're a
the
Southern
idea
Cameroonian
is
and
to go
you don't
there.
discover and you don't see this reality, get up from sleep.
Yeah.
While
And
they are
the,
fighting this fight, we have to fight our fight.
and the idea is for those notary publics to get into our regions and preside over the selling of our lands to francophone
Exactly.
elite, and before you know, give them
Exactly.
15 years. Almost most of the
No, that
land
has
in
been going
Bamenda, as
on
we're
for
already
a very
saying.
long time now. That has been
So
going on
no,
for a very long time.
the SDOs and the surveyors that were mainly citizens of La République du Cameroon appointed in our land. In most places, the delegates in charge of land tenure and all of those things in our land were mostly citizens from La République du Cameroon, and that's why you see they tell you. I think Tambetiko did that. Tell you that Okalia Bilai Bernard has more land titles in Fako than even any Fako chief.
Yeah,
Than every person from Southwest put together.
right.
All of them who have been SGOs there in Fako, who are citizens of La République du Cameroon, specifically Beti people. I mean, they own more land than the indigens. But as it is
And
their
the local
strategy,
chief.
they have to keep building something to tell the indigens of Fako that your problem are Graffiti people. Their problem are really Graffiti people. The Graffiti people are disturbing you too much.
Right.
Give us land. Graffiti people are the problem. That's what they do. So we have to sit down, become conscious of all of these antics, and recognize that the only way we get freedom is fight. The sooner we come to that reality, the better. And that's why I'm excited that Issa Tchiroma Bakari is about to lead the people of La République du Cameroon to start fighting for their sovereignty.
Dennis,
Everybody's
please come
interest
in
will
there.
be
You wanted to say
represented in those
something.
fights.
Dennis.
No, I was saying that they have started this process of control of the land tenure a long time ago. The land tenure in our land is in their hands. So they control all the land there. They control the business licensing and everything. Unfortunately, until we have freedom of speech within our land, our people will not understand all of these things because it requires person to person education to make some of our people understand the ins and out of this struggle, to understand where they stand. Because when they come and tell them those blah blah blah, we're one people, we're brothers, they are carried away very easily, not seeing the intricacies and the net in which the colonizers are wrapping them.
Yeah, John, are you saying something?
I'm here,
No,
Chris.
Okay, I
okay.
thought you were saying something, John.
Oh no, no. I was listening to Dennis.
Oh, okay. So the days ahead are going to determine uh, the future of Issa Chiroma's campaign and legitimacy claims. This isn't something that he has to delay. I think there is urgency to this. And do you feel the urgency in this matter? I mean, about him taking this oath of office and start making declarations from the north.
I think Issa Tchiroma Bakari is aware of everything that is happening. La République du Cameroon has scheduled Paul Biya's swearing in on the 3rd of November, if I'm not mistaken. It should be the 3rd of November, because I've seen the assembly is convened for the 3rd. If it's not on that 3rd, then it should be somewhere in November, but I think notably the 3rd of November. And so I know Issa Chiruma Bakari understands the stakes, that he cannot afford to let Paul Biya take the oath of office before him, because that will make him a rebel leader by the time he takes oath of office after Biya. But if he takes the oath of office in time enough,
Yeah.
that makes Paul Biya rather the rebel. And he's taking up his legitimacy, and that will actually up the ante. It will raise the bargains, and because right now Yaoundé is looking at him, they are wondering, can he go all the way? They are also still negotiating. I want you to know that even while they are making all that noise, they are afraid. They are afraid. They are giving some kind of false bravado, but they are trying to negotiate behind the scenes. And so, what I gathered thus far is that Issa Chiruma Bakari is not yielding. He announced that he was going to give some indications of his the third step of his plan today. But right up to this moment, I've not heard anything. I thought I heard whether it was 10 a.m. or was 10 p.m. But I guess by tomorrow he will have said something. And there are a lot of speculations out there that should absolutely be the swearing-in video that everyone is looking forward to. And if that is the swearing-in video that's coming out, then that will get in line. And I think once that is done, some people need to come together, organize themselves in La République du Cameroon, and begin to, give coordinated messages to the people on what to do. Because right now there's some degree of cacophony. See, this one just gets up here, says, "Oh, they will do this on social media." That one says, "I'll do this one," and all and so on and so forth. They should do that. And when they say they want to go have dialogue with those people who are their elites, at their homes, I took the opportunity to share with them the names and pictures of some of our people who are there, that when they go to have dialogue, because they say it's going to be peaceful, I will not promote violence, they should also stop at their residences and have dialogue with them. Like Ngala Gerard in Douala, they should stop over there and ask him what happened in Gabu. They should do the same thing with Kalisus Fugentry in Yaoundé. Same thing with Ndode Mesape, who says that the people of Kupeng Wanenguba get 100%. When we could see the videos coming from there every day about roads, they should do the same thing with Ufru Jonathan in Yaoundé, who says that the people of Santa get 100%. There are people in Yaoundé who should be able to stand up there and say exactly what happened in my homeland, Batibo, because the people are swearing to even go voodoo. In Batibo, the people are mad. They even want to go to black magic to
I
make
saw
sure they
them with
check
a
the
big
culprits
with a big
who
banner
said that
of Paul. I saw your people on. I saw your people on election day with a big
because
banner of Paul Biya saying, "This
because the
is
people still
our
don't know.
president."
Please, you don't know the insult that is being added to injury. I'm sure you heard an audio about 2 days ago from Gokutunja from Do, where someone was explaining that he just came out to do something and they gathered them, soldiers gathered them and were forcing them to wear CPDM uniforms, and they went into homes, pulled out people at gunpoint, forced them to wear CPDM uniforms, and took them to the streets, that they had to march and go to the grandstand and greet the SDO to say that they were celebrating Paul Biya's victory in Dub. This is not just an insult, it's a crime against humanity. Not only you steal a people's voice, but you add insult on injury by going to force those people to go out and celebrate something they know nothing about. I mean, it is horrible. That is why, to me, those so-called elite, they make up that 2,500 to 3,000 people who have said they will seize power for generations from generation, and it has to go from themselves to their children. That's why they say access to all the schools that will give room to entry into the public service will be reserved for their children, especially. That's why Enam, when you look at the names, each time of people who have gone to Enam, find out whose child it is. You find someone inside that club. You look at the entrance of exam into EMIA, the same that club. You go to the entrance examination into IRIC, is the same club. That's why when you find lousy, stupid fools like these ones go sit down and then they are struggling to cover their faces.
John, you are looking at CPD and militaries right there at the grandstand in Bamenda. They don't want to be seen. They don't want you. That is how coward
no, Chris, I have said Achobang Paul, who is lodging around in Bamenda, an impostor saying he's a city mayor, has a church. And I said, anyone who is sitting in that church and saying this guy is preaching the word of God to them.
Are you telling me Achobang Paul is a pastor?
Like you now, he's your colleague, he's a pastor, Chris.
Are you serious?
So, you didn't see the video where he gathered some other pastors that they said they were pastors with a woman. They stood there, they were pouring libation and praying for peace. And I said they were looking like witches and wizards. The way in those they were looking like witches and wizards, not preachers of the word of God. I don't have the power to judge, but I can say this. I can put an opinion. I can say these people are doing blasphemy. You go and sit for an electoral thief like that. Let me tell you what these guys are doing. They are not just stealing the people's money. They are stealing the people's destinies. And he will sit in church and be preaching to people how to protect yourself against destiny exchangers, destiny thieves, when he's a chief thief of people's destinies. Come on, give me a break.
Comrade Kuru, please, if you want to think about that, go back and see the slave laws which were done on the basis of the Bible. Yes. That's when you will discover that this thing we call religion. Don't bother about people saying they are pastors or whatever they are. Because how could you imagine that the terrible things that happened during slavery were all backed up by the Bible? With everything that's written in the Bible. People,
you're right.
Forget about that. My greatest
You're right. That's why I'm saying that anything that stood with Achobang Paul in that picture, calling themselves pastors, those are sangobinatans.
Where you are using a broad brush on every pastor out there.
All those people who stood with Achobang Paul claiming that they were pastors, that woman was swearing, putting her head on the tar, knowing that they were celebrating banditry. Those are sangobinatans. Those are angels of Satan.
No, that we agree. Absolutely, we agree with that.
Yes.
All right, please, Dennis, finish your point. We'll go to the phones.
No, I just wanted to say that I have a great concern that when these kind of things happen, there are no people who take a cool head to jot down the proposals that they can put down to improve the system. And so next time we are met with the same system that we have now. Now, just imagine, could there not be a possibility that a third body was created where every political party that participated in the election will file the results from each polling station within 1 hour after the end of the polls? Wouldn't that help the so-called Constitutional Council to compare all those results with what Elecam gives them?
But the Constitutional Council was not verifying results. They were announcing what Elecam, the thief in chief, gave them. They were merely doing announcement and following instructions.
Comrade Atemken, you have read the strategy de conservation du pouvoir. What do they say there about elections? They tell you that the best attitude towards election is rigging. Yeah. So they don't even need elections. That's why George Array Mortareta wrote an article on Cameroon calling that our always hail until today. He said there is no use organizing elections every 7 years. Make it 50 years renewable once. Because all that charade and all whatnot, it doesn't make any sense. There is no such thing as elections. And those people, if you read that document, they tell you that they have to make sure anyone who comes from any place as elected is somebody that they have imposed on the people. So those things, they don't even reckon at the level of the presidency. They're given at the level of everywhere. That's why all of those people there, you don't call them your elected representatives. You call them the selected representative from Yaoundé. They do everything to
Yeah.
delegitimize you because Yaoundé has to be your power base. Your allegiance
Exactly.
doesn't got to be to your constituents, but to Yaoundé. And that is why,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again for the umpteenth time, I want to remind you, they say the objective is to make sure the country is not developed. Because the country is developed and people begin having money, people are fine, people are rich, they will question them. They have to be totally impoverished. It's a policy.
Yeah.
For the longest
Yeah.
time, I've
Yeah.
said poverty is a public policy in Cameroon. People think it's a farce. No, this is no
It
joke.
is.
Anyone
is.
who has not understood, who never listened to, and who doesn't have an idea what is in that document, like I said, go to the GMA Connections right now. There's a video flowing there right now in which I'm explaining point by point. So you know where we stand. And it's too bad for the people of the Southern Cameroons. You saw the Comrade Temke, what is there for the people of the Southern Cameroons? We are supposed just to be smashed and never have ambition to be anything. If they give you any position, Chris, they make sure they appoint an assistant who has a real power.
Yeah, right.
All what you are doing there, you are ceremonial.
Yeah.
That's why you can see John
Yeah,
Gute smashed, trampled upon, reduced to rubble. And he
And
opens his pants and
they
says that he's
don't-
thanking people for elections.
They don't only do that. What many people don't know out there is what happened with the results in the northern zone for that election and the results in the southern zone. A battle took place. In Yaoundé, there was a big fight where Dion Ngute was very concerned with the percentage of the people in the northern zone voting for the CPDM. Because the figures they were giving for the southern zone was 60, I think 68 or 63%. In
Yeah,
the
68%.
northern zone, they were giving 70-something
86%.
percent. It ended up around
86.
80-something
86,
official
yeah.
proclamation. But this is what was going on. Dion Ngute sent instructions to somebody in the northern zone to instruct the Elekam official there to make sure that the northern zone did not have a higher percentage than the southern zone.
So you can see.
Hold on. Let me land. This is what
I have an idea what
was-
he's talking about.
Let me land. This is what was going on. Dion Gute, with the southern zone Kaba elite in Yaoundé, have been very concerned that with more votes coming from the northern zone for the CPDM, it means it may be time for him to leave. The next prime minister will be coming from the northern
Of
zone.
course, that's what it is.
That is it. That's what happened.
No, but Chris, that's what I told you earlier, that it is what they call a theory de l'élite. Listen, the thing is this. Elekam officials called me on the day of the vote from the ground. I talked to at least 16 of them who called me by themselves. I didn't even call them. They called me to tell me that as early as 10 a.m. in the morning, Paul Atanganji was calling all of them one by one, personally, not people from his cabinet, personally, asking them how many people have voted so far. So they said, no, these are your figures. He gave them the figures. These are the figures you will represent. So the figures of both the northern and southern zone were all shaped by Paul Atanganji.
Yes,
Because Paul
yes.
Atanganji
To
wants
shift
be
the vice, the prime
He has
ministry
to
to the northern zone.
And
And,
with all the disgrace that he's having there, he still feels that that position of, you know, of a marionette is worth retaining. So they had a soft fight there, and the interest of the people is not what matters. John Gute could not have pity on that gentleman that we saw swimming in mud to go and try to fix his car to remove it from the road. John Gute could not have pity on the people who are telling you, even when Belamoki Charles stood and said in the Senate that to go to a condo titi, even with a bike from Kumba, had become impossible. John Gute is chief of Bogongo for crying out loud. That's why I say these people are hardened criminals. They are criminals.
All right, comrades, you guys hang in there. Let's get to the phones, and we're going to open the phone lines. Make sure that before you call, the volume of your television set is turned down. Please do not call with the volume of your TV set turned on. If I pick your call and hear my voice in the background, I'll just go to the next caller, because these phones will be jammed. I say over 1,300 people on YouTube alone. Over 1,300 people on YouTube alone, and I had 551 on Facebook, come down to 437 as I see now. So you can imagine how many people want to call. I already have people calling even before getting the number on the screen. So before you call, make sure that the volume of your set is turned down and you focus on your phone. Focus on your phone. Hello. Hello. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Hello. All right. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Comrade Chris. So I have a question for Comrade John Akuro. And by the way, you guys have a wonderful panel over there. Thank you, John, and thank you for the other guy. Do you think that the French, this is for Comrade John Akuro, because I thought I read an article a long time ago about Cameroon the French don't want Cameroon to become industrialized because of resources, right?
Yeah.
If Cameroon becomes industrialized and the economy grows and the people become rich, then we are going to start using resources. And when I say we, I'm talking about Cameroon and Amazonia. Of course, they're using a lot of Amazonia resources, right? If we get to the point where and because this is the one time the French said we don't have to be industrialized because the French have industries, right? That we don't have to be industrialized because if we become industrial, then we're going to start using our resources for our own purposes, and it's going to affect the French economy. Comrade John Bakuro, what do you think about that?
John, briefly, 50 seconds so we can get back to the phone.
No, but of course, you don't even need a soothsayer to tell you that France's concerns are very clear. They don't want the African countries to industrialize because if they do, they are poor. Ask the rhetorical question, how do you explain that 3 countries that were considered among the poorest in the world cut off France? That was always complained that they were spending a lot of their resources helping them, giving them development aid, giving them the assistance in every sphere and all whatnot. France should have been celebrating that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger left because that would save them the resources from the French taxpayers' purse that they were using on them. But on the contrary, these 3 very poor countries cut off, and France immediately, it doesn't even take months. France immediately starts facing economic heat. That's why they will not let us go.
All right.
Yes, you need to understand that.
All right, let's get back to the phones. Hello.
Dr. John calling from the UK. I'm a public sector accounting researcher, and I can tell people that changes, if you look at institutional theory, the old logic, those who are in power, they will not change without pressure. So the population has the pressure. So people should be ready to die for the pressure. Changes does not come like that, even in the West, because I understand what has happened in the West. And so what people need to do is, Tchiroma should be ready to die. And when you talk to people, most often they say, why don't you go back to fight? And I said, tell them, not everybody must be on the soil to fight.
All right.
So what I will encourage Cameroonians is, the French-speaking Cameroonians, not the English, because we have had our own fair share.
Yeah.
So the French-speaking Cameroonians should be ready to die. Because even in the West, you can see their logic, things have changed, they have evolved, because people have fought their battle. And we should not just be looking for escape route. We should know that we have the power to pressurize them to change. So the French Cameroonians should be ready.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Consequences, because that is the most important thing, the pressure.
Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Comrade John.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Hello.
Chris, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bengui.
From Bengui. Okay, what is going on in Bengui?
Bengui is a little bit quiet this time around. No rioting, but I want to tell you Bengui is really full of black legs. They were really disturbed.
Okay.
So, sir, please. So, I would like you, since you are in touch with Tchiroma, please tell him to swear in, to take an oath. Let him swear in. It will be a better news for us in Ground Zero. Please, I will talk to you on a private base after this. I will drop you a message.
All right. All right. Thank you.
God bless you. Very much.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Comrade, please.
Yes. Who may this be?
This is Maitre Nikonfa from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. Okay. 50 seconds, sir. What is on your mind?
All right. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I am very, very proud of you. I mean, you guys make Ambazona proud. Brave minds of Ambazona. Actually, yeah, you know what Comrade John broadcasted the first time 2 days ago about the Issa Tchiroma soaring in is taking hit right now, and I don't know whether his Issa Tchiroma team is taking him seriously, but that's the best option. If it delays, you're on the get sworn in, then it's finished. So I don't have much to say because right now I think you guys have broadcasted everything, and Tchiroma should take note. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Let's see who is next. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Chris. I'm calling from Washington State.
Washington State. That is Seattle, right?
Seattle.
All
yeah,
right.
I've been following your program, and it's really educative. So yeah, you make a very good point. I think this is a time for the president-elect Mr. Tchiroma to take an oath and be sworn. Yeah, I think that's the right thing for him to do, and if he can do it as soon as possible, I think it will really send a powerful message to the international community. Yeah, I buy that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Can you turn down the volume of your set in the background? Focus on the phone, please.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
I want to tell you, number one, you all said it all. You have the number of her daughter. Please call her daughter, let her talk to her dad to swear in. And then I want this suggestion where you got all the women go in front of Etundi. They can go naked and protest naked. You know, the old women.
Well, I may disagree with you. The Frundi did that for, I don't know for how long. What difference did it make? I mean, you had Takumbeng all over the place, especially in Bamenda, and I think they did it a number of times in Yaoundé. Did it make any difference?
Yeah, the people don't need no army. The army are the people. The people are surrounding.
If Issa Tchiroma should quietly take the oath, that is stronger than any AK-47 or any weapon, because psychologically, BA cannot sleep in a 2D. Their ministers are scared, especially when they know the military is divided.
Yes, so far they got somebody coordinating this will really go. We need a coordinator for Issa Tchiroma, one more. But again, the army are the people. They will take care. He should be sworn in tomorrow.
All right, thank you, sir, for the call.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Bucharest.
From Bucharest. Wonderful. What is on your mind, sir?
Yes. Yes, I really want you guys to understand that for Tchiroma to be in court for a swearing, it has to be done with a proper measure of security. Because trust me, these guys are getting ready to get Tchiroma arrested. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Then the second one is that we have to
Hold on there. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hold on. I don't think anybody is asking Tchiroma to go to court. That can be done wherever he is. Again, for the case of the Gambia, Adama Barrow was sworn in the hotel room in Senegal.
Yes, it can be done. But trust me, these guys, they are looking for the way to get Tchiroma arrested because they thought he's the one instigating the people. Meanwhile, the people are fed off. Trust me, my mother has not met my father, talk less of giving birth to me, since Tchiroma has been on that position. Why? We people are tired. Enough is enough. Let's keep mounting pressure on the people to decide that they don't want him in that office. They've rigged the election. They've done whatever they need to do. Fine, no problem. But what we are demanding for is that man needs to get out of that position. Enough is enough. With him with every other person that is working with him. Enough is enough. They need to be out of that office.
All right.
Someone else. Yes, that's what I need to tell you. Thank you so much very much. Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Dubai.
From Dubai. What is on your mind, sir? 50 seconds.
Okay, sir. What is on my mind is that Issa Tchiroma, the upcoming president of the Arab Republic, he has to go by the horn.
I'm sorry, sir. The quality of your call is very poor. Maybe you want to try again. Thank you. Let's see. Hello.
Hello, Colonel Chris. This is Chairman Ephraim.
Chairman Ephraim calling from San Antonio. All right, sir. What is there on your mind?
Yes, this is a good show. I must tell you, though, that I listened to a part of it in a lot of pain. Pain caused by listening to this rogue who calls himself a Tanganji. The time he gave him to speak all that rubbish, it just sounded to me like you are helping him broadcast nonsense, broadcast threats.
Okay.
And I was leaning a lot of it, but of course my pain should not control what he do. Just be fair. Just be fair, and
it's not even being fair. If you have to quote certain things, then you have to let people first of all to hear what it is before you go ahead and condemn it. Right? That's what we do here. Right.
All right, go ahead, take other calls. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello, where are you calling from? Hello?
Hello, good evening, please.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Japan.
Japan. All right. What is on your mind, sir? 50 seconds.
Yeah, I think the question was to whether Tchiroma should be sworn in. It shouldn't even be a question. Tchiroma should be sworn in because what is happening in Cameroon right now, Tchiroma is in control of Douala, which to me, Douala is more important than Yaoundé. There's nothing in Yaoundé. Douala airport and seaport are blocked, and the disruptions are happening. Nothing is happening there.
All right. Okay. We hear you. We hear you, sir. Thank you. The quality of your voice is not the best. Thank you for the call. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chris Ano.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling all the way from Douala, Cameroon.
Okay, wonderful. What is there on your mind?
I look at the headlines. It was really interesting. You know, we all knew before the election that it's going to be fraudulent, and you can never win La Republic with their very crookish method of organizing election, where we already know the winner before even the election is being organized. And Mr. Tchiroma won the election. We all knew because we participated massively, and we knew that they are going to rig the election. So it was not something that was strange. But now the issue here is he should go in. He should take the hard line. The hard line. We know what happened in other countries like Central African Republic, because in Central Africa, in the central part of Africa, elections are never free and fair. And before elections are being conducted, we already know who the winners are. So we saw what happened with Bozize. He was chased out of power. We have been seeing what happened. We saw what happened with Idris Deby, how the Mahaffans manipulated and allowed the son to replace the father. All of these things, he should take the head. The only way for him to succeed is that even before the election, he has to coordinate himself. He has to coordinate people.
The elections are over. What should he do now? That's what people are asking.
So what he should do now is that he should take the hard line. He should prepare.
All right.
There should be men around him.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good evening,
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Yaoundé, capital of Cameroon.
Capital of La Republic. Okay, what is on your mind?
Chris, what I want to say is just that Issa Tchiroma, let start doing what people are saying faster, because the more he's wasting time is not good.
Okay.
You see now. So I want that. Let you people put pressure. Let people put pressure, because it's as if Issa Tchiroma is delaying they want to delay the issue, the war, and it's not good.
All right.
So
Thank you.
Put pressure. Let him put pressure. It's as if he's not have people to collaborate with. Because I'm not saying he's not having people to collaborate with. He have to have at least somebody that he can at least talking every day now, to at least talking online with. So let us know how things are going with his own side.
All right.
Because it's just silent. It's not good.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the call. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero.
Where on Ground Zero?
Oh, in the western region.
Okay. What is on your mind?
Yes, Comrade Chris. What I'm trying to say is that he should go on with the oath immediately.
Okay.
Yes, because that's the only way out, as you people are saying. So if he delays, it will become a problem again.
All right. Thank you. Okay, the phones are jamming here. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Cristiano.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja, Nigeria.
Okay. What is your contribution?
Yeah, actually, for me, my contribution that I can say or give is like we should continue with the protest. Whenever like our president Issa Tchiroma call on us to come out, we should come out massively in numbers. So I think that would be the only solution, that we are going to disturb the government in the way that they couldn't control us. So I think that's the only solution that we can do right now to make things be in place for me.
Okay, are you Nigerian or Cameroonian?
No, I'm a Cameroonian. I'm a Cameroonian precisely from Bamenda. Because actually from what happened to Bamenda, that's what made me to immigrate and come back to Nigeria right now, you see. So where I am, I'm not that way cool. I want to go back to my country to
So you are a refugee in Abuja?
Pardon?
You are a refugee in Abuja?
Yeah, actually I'm a refugee.
Okay. All right, thank you.
From Bamenda, precisely Boyo Division.
All right. Thank you for the call. Remain safe out there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello?
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 Hello, Comrade Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Ground Zero, Mezam.
Mezam. Okay, what is on your mind?
Yeah, Comrade Chris, I learned that Issa Tchiroma wants to go to court. I will just say that he should not even temper to go to the court because those courts are owned by the same regime.
Where did you learn that?
Rumors are moving around.
Which court would you go to?
That's why I'm saying that you should not even temper to go to anyone because all those courts in Yaoundé are being owned by the same regime.
Right. All right. Thank you. Thanks for calling.
But
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Louis.
Okay.
St. Louis, Missouri, USA.
Okay. What is on your mind, sir?
I mean, the really thing for President-elect Issa Tchiroma to do right now, I believe, is to be sworn in. He needs to be sworn in because once he does that, it changes everything. And the best strategy, I think, will him to do it before BI is sworn in. Because once he does that, once Issa Tchiroma is sworn in, he will get the attention of the international community. Things will change.
Yeah, right.
Things will change. That's what he needs to do right now. He can swear, he can be sworn at his residence. It doesn't have to be at a 2D.
Right.
And form a government, name your government and all that. That's how you show the world that you are really, really serious. And we don't want to go through what happened in 92 with Frundi or 2018 with Kamto. If Tchiroma wants to show that he is the real deal, that people are behind him, as he keeps saying, he should be sworn in before Bia.
All right.
That will tell the world that he is serious. And I'm telling you, all international journalists will swarm at his residence to find out what's going on. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you. That's what we are saying here. All right. Let's see who else is calling. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from? I think we lost that caller. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, when you call, you have to stay on the phone. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling you from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. Okay, what is on your mind? 50 seconds.
Well, what I'd like to say is that I hear people calling and talking and asking what Mr. Tchiroma should do. I think he has done enough already, and all that needs to be done at the moment. Cameroon has just over 51,000, both military, police, including all the security. And if Cameroonian people can come out, I'm talking about Francophone Cameroonians, can step out, just 1 million, they will overwhelm the security forces. So
Well, but you know that will never happen, right?
And I think that they need to come out because I don't think that swearing him in, it's okay. But to say that he hasn't done enough, that's not being fair. The people of La Republic to Cameroon must move forward and make the decision. It is their future. They can't sit on social media and be writing messages.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. 5 more minutes, and I will call it a night. So you'll be one of the luckiest for me to pick your call. Hello. Hello. All right. Hello.
Yes, please. I'm calling again from Japan. I don't know if you can hear me now.
I can hear you now, sir. Calling from Japan, right?
Yes.
And what is on your mind, sir? 50 seconds.
Yes, I was saying that Tchiroma should be sworn in immediately because first, Tchiroma is leading in the sense that Douala is shut down. Douala is shut down already.
Yeah.
And Douala is more important than Yaoundé. There's not only Yaoundé.
Right.
The gang Yaoundé depend solely from Douala.
Okay.
And only shut down. So if Tchiroma goes ahead to do whatever he's doing, he has the people behind him.
All right. Absolutely.
And to your surprise, the West, which some of us thought they were not going to join, they're only joining.
Right,
so
right.
Tchiroma will not hesitate to be sworn in.
Right. All right. Thank you. I hope they hear us. Thank you for the call. All right. I think this should be the last call that I can take. Hello. Hello.
Please, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ground Zero, Santa, precisely.
Santa. Okay. What is on your mind?
Comrade Chris, the best thing that will happen, or the best news that we're waiting to hear now is to hear that Tchiroma has been signed, sworn in as a president. That's the best news that we are hoping to hear for now.
All right. We're all waiting for that. I hope it happens. Thank you for the call. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the last call for today. I'm sorry I can't take every call for time reasons. But before I leave, I want to make this appeal once more, ladies and gentlemen, to all of you out there watching ABS and appreciating and liking what we are doing here, especially at this point in time, for the future of the Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon. We're able to come to you thanks to the satellite. We are on 2 satellites covering all of sub-Saharan Africa. That means we're in all of Africa except Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, and which is the other one? Libya. Other than these 4, we are in all of Africa. It takes a lot of sacrifice to bring these to you on a daily basis. I'd like to appeal to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking for 100 people, just 100 people who can join ABS 100. ABS 100 with a monthly commitment of $25 or more. A monthly commitment of $25 or more to support ABS to stay on the satellite. We also want to get on Roku television. We were there before, but left because we couldn't accommodate the bills. But we want to get on Roku. Once we are on Roku, you can watch us live anytime, any moment, any day. We come to you live when we get on the social media, and once we are done live, You no longer can watch us unless you are watching on satellite television. But we are running 24/7. 24/7. You can keep us in your homes with Roku television if we are able to get back there. But my appeal for all of you watching today is to please, I'm really pleading with you, help us keep this channel on satellite with a contribution of just $25 or more every month. And if you want to join that team, please send us a message on the number on your screen, a WhatsApp message on the number on your screen, and you will be added to that 100 ABS sponsors forum. Please, I urge you, encourage us to keep on doing what we are doing here. And if you just want to make a one-time donation, send a message on that phone, on the phone number you find there, and we will get back to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in today. I have a very important guest tomorrow. Tomorrow, the former U.S. Under Secretary of State, Tibor Nagy, will be joining me to give us an opinion on the elections and the proclamation of the results in La République du Cameroon. So you do not want to miss that. Tibor Nagy tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you for tuning in and being part of the broadcast today. I could not believe the numbers that I saw on YouTube. Almost 1,400 watching live. And the last I saw on Facebook was 551. Thank you very much. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, do so. Hit the subscribe button or the like button so that you can receive notifications every time we are either coming on live or we are posting a new document. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. Good night.
Dennis Smart, Muna King Fanja, Usari Maribo. What's a seku, Joseph Urabwe? 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 That concept Grandago Mukuba Bate Mechi Peter Eno Ancien Treva Murubo Aquaticaba Eyong Atem Oma sende. I'm watching us in the Oma sende. I'm in the UK. Man benevan. China benembe. Oma sende. This some floppies. Ako. Oma sende. Mama nyako to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Bima to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Bima to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Sese cool. Kama nyankal. Oma sende. Come on yo. Oma sende. Sese cool. Abidjan. Oma sende. Ayo. Oma sende. Akwati gaba asam komo. Oli. Oma sende. Se kwa wora boy. Oma sende. Akwati gaba bisongam. Ongona. Oma sende. Se kwa wora boy. Oma sende. Bima to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Bima to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Bima to menga minita boy. Oma sende. To menga minita boy. Oma sende. Yes,